stage, Tom Ware.
Oh dear. Are you afraid of dying? Are you afraid of death? Do you think that all of this is going to one day come to an end and you'll be no more? No more. Does it frighten you? Don't worry about it. I've checked right into this. There's not a thing to fear, but there is a proviso. It has to go from belief to knowing. And how do you get to knowing? You've got to go within or you go without. Go within or you go without. I've spent probably about 55 years looking into this self-knowledge thing of what we are. I've done 38 years of meditation, probably 30,000 hours. And I've come to the conclusion that we're immortal souls. We don't have a thing to worry about. We look at our bodies and we think, I am this body, but we know we're not. Because remember the little body when you're a little tiny tot? And you looked out through your eyes and thought, I'm in here somewhere, the world's out there. Same when you're 14. Same when you're 21. Same when you're an old guy like me, 88. Doesn't change, doesn't change. The world seems to be out there, but you know that you're in here. You are the witness. You are the observer. You are the experiencer of your life. You know this. Nothing changes. Statistics show, Gallup poll shows over the years that about 40% of people believe in death, and of those, a minority are absolutely terrified of it. All that changed, the uncertainty went back in 1977 when I was an Antarctic expeditioner stationed on Macquarie Island for 12 months. Now, Macquarie Island is a bleak, wind-swept place where the wind roars out of the southwest across 10,000 miles of pack ice, too cold for trees, rain, sleet, hail and snow 340 days of the year, and hardly any evaporation. So the place becomes quite marshy, quite boggy. I was trekking alone about 20 miles from the base camp when I realised I was lost up on the high plateau, and I had to find my way down to the east coast, otherwise I wouldn't survive the night. So I got careless. I'm jumping across this mountain stream, a little waterfall, jumping this way, that way, this way. I'm standing on a rock and it goes bloop, and it goes right up to my thighs in mud. Well, I went to get out. I went to get out. I went to get out. I couldn't get out. Now immediately you think, this is ridiculous. This can't be happening to me. This can't be real. Everybody, you know. And then the thought came to my head. More expeditioners lost their life on Macquarie Island, even on any of all the Antarctic bases themselves. Dangerous place to be. And I started worrying, am I going to get out? And then I started pleading, please God help me, and all this sort of stuff. And there was no help. And eventually I calmed down and I thought, that's it. I'll be dead by the morning. Already the skua gulls were starting to gather, you know. They seem to know you're in trouble. And I thought, well, I can't get out. I won't survive the night. I'll be a bag of bones in the morning. That was the thought which went through my head. But you know what? When that actually happens, when something like that really happens, you eventually accept it. And with acceptance comes a great calmness. And you just wait, well, that's it. My life is over. And the only thought which was going through my head is, I'm never going to see my wife again, never going to see my 3 children again, but that's it. And then I heard the voice. It wasn't my thoughts. This was a guardian angel. And the voice said, spread the weight. Spread the weight. And I knew exactly what that meant, because on my back I had a huge aluminium frame with a great big backpack on it. So I took that off and I put it in front of me on the top of the mud. And then I unzipped my parka, which was a big broad thing, all bright red, leaned into the mud, the beard there, and pulled with all my might. And I suddenly felt the leg just give an inch or so, and I thought, wow, hope sprang up. Then the other leg, and then again this one, and then this one, and eventually I was to get one leg on top, and then the other leg, and I sort of crawled across, and I hung onto this grass. I was saved. And I was there for a long while. I did get out. I did make it to the hut, which saved my life. I did make it back to the base camp the next day. And I was a changed person. And I realised that when you change from belief to knowing, there's certain things you can do to do that. There's 3 things you can do. Very commonly you can do it. First of all, check on the internet and look at all the NDEs, near-death experiences. Take up serious meditation, book yourself in somewhere, and trust that you are far more than you realise you are. Thank you, mate. Thank you.
Can I be like you when I grow up? Wow, 88 years old. Do you know that you've nearly been retired as long as I've been born?
Yeah, I can expect that.
Yeah. You got a lot of energy, you know. I see a lot of people retire and they kind of go, yep, I've done my thing in the world. I'm content, I've made an impact, or I've done what I can. And then just quite happy to go off and, you know, maybe hang out with your grandchildren and just kind of relax by the beach.
Yeah.
But you've got something more than that.
Yep.
You've got a bit of fighting spirit in there. And I think you've only just got started. You're really honest. You're a great storyteller up here, by the way. Wasn't it special? Yeah, that was pretty cool, wasn't it? Wow. You're a great storyteller. And I know when we were talking on day one, you're talking a lot about helping people for their final third, right? And retirement. Yep. But I think you've got more to give than that.
You think so?
Because I think you can teach the young ones. Your wisdom, you are so wise. Your wisdom needs to be out there in the world more than it is right now. Actually, I just showed Sam a quick video of you, and I think it's from quite a few years ago, but you presenting on stage. Yeah. So you've been doing it a while.
Yeah.
Is there a big stage you want to be on?
Yeah, big international stage with. I'd love to get an audience of a couple of thousand people. Yeah.
I reckon it's time we make that happen.
Yes.
I think it's time for you to dream big. And why not go as big? Why not just go, you know, hey, look, let's go, we could go to the Sydney Opera House, but why not go Madison Square Garden?
Love it.
Why not get you Madison Square Garden? But I think you've got enough there. We can tweak you. I think it's just giving you the confidence and showing you the channels to get through onto those big stages, because you held us that entire time.
Yes. Good.
There was no one looking down. There was no one thinking about doing anything else during that entire 6 minutes but watching you. Yeah. And they were glued for you for the entire time. And that's hard to do. And you'll even be able to do that with our young little whippersnappers who have a very short attention span, right through to those who feel like they've done enough in life. You're amazing. You're incredible. And I'm very, very inspired by you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you, brother. Keep going.
Thank you.
Give me a round of applause.
Thank you.